Yeah, yeah. Hello there you guys, welcome to another of my live videos, and today I'm just going to be officially updating you on some big breaking news. Now apparently it's in a couple of media outlets, in the Express, it's in Bleach Report, it's giving us an update. Now apparently the French press are actually reporting now that PSG are actually interested in David De Gea from us. Apparently the keeper that's been at Old Trafford since 2011, so I think this is 7th season in the process. We have still yet to sign him an extension on his contract to David De Gea, but apparently now PSG are actually willing to make a move for David De Gea. It's also suggested out, obviously, PSG had spent a lot of money in the August window. I think they still need to avoid, they still need to sanction players off, to avoid financial fair play regulation, consider the amount of money. The structure in the deal for Mbappe, obviously they got Neymar for nearly £200 million as well, so he's saying they're making a move for David De Gea because they're in the hunt, I think, of PSG for the goalkeeper. But apparently during the summer as well, they'd actually been heavily linked to a Joe Blanc from Atletico Madrid, and basically it could be around about the same price whether PSG get a deal done for De Gea or Joe Blanc. Joe Blanc does have a hundred million release clause in his current deal with Atletico Madrid, but apparently PSG have been interested in him as well. But apparently now they are making a move for David De Gea. Obviously, I think he's got a deal with Man United. I think it's till 2019. If I'm pretty sure, he has not yet signed a new deal. Old Trafford. He has not yet signed a new deal at Old Trafford. All in all in the Premier League, David De Gea is the best goalkeeper in the world. And Jose Mourinho, I'd said before, he was convinced he was going to stay at Manchester United, because we know with David De Gea all in all now in the Premier League since his arrival since 2011, in the Premier League he's made over 2 century appearances and he's kept 81 clean sheets in the process. So in the Premier League he's nearly hit a century of clean sheets now in the Premier League, and he's the best goalkeeper in the world, as I said. Reason up the ranks fantastically well with Atletico Madrid, as I said. Reason up the ranks very well. And Man United paid £18.5 million, was it, for him from there. But obviously that we do know as well about De Gea. Well, that Real Madrid have been heavily linked with him since 2015. Real Madrid have been the hunt for him, but obviously we've tried fending the interest away from Real Madrid. Obviously we tried to secure David De Gea a new deal at Old Trafford, but obviously we know Real Madrid had nearly got David De Gea back in 2015, but due to a fax machine, a deal didn't come to an agreement. And Real Madrid's pursuit of David De Gea had come to a conclusion. You could understand why I want to, may go back to Madrid. Born in Madrid, has relatives in Madrid. His girlfriend's in Madrid, as well as David De Gea. But it's reported now that Paris Saint-Germain are actually considering a move for David De Gea next summer as well. But obviously, Man United will not want to sanction him off, as I said, because there's still areas where Man United need to strengthen up. Obviously, we've got Sergio Romero in goal, haven't we? Who's our number 2 goalkeeper. But it still will be hard to find that replacement for David De Gea if we were willing to let him go. And he's not going to come cheap. If any team does come for him, Man United are gonna, if he comes available for sale, he's going to be at least, we're going to have a price tag for De Gea at least about 70 to 80 million pound. If any team wants to go for David De Gea, and as I said, Paris Saint-Germain have been interested in Joe Blanc as well. So he's a player that's got a 100 million release clause in his current contract with Atletico Madrid as well. But PSG have spent a lot of money, so apparently they're willing to make a move for David De Gea, but Man United have not yet signed a new deal for him. Also, we've got Fellaini coming to an end of his deal. We haven't fully secured him a new deal. We've got Matt coming to an end of his deal. We've got Herrera coming to an end of his deal, who hasn't featured much this season. So it's important that we do get these essential players, new deals at Manchester United, to get other teams away to try and get our players. As I said, so that's the breaking news about that situation, and we will see what happens in the process. This is just reported from a couple of media outlets that PSG are apparently making a move for David De Gea. He's now actually made 207 appearances in the Premier League for Manchester United. Very good keeper, very good at keeping clean sheets, and he's potentially the best keeper in the world, guys, without a doubt. But as I did update you earlier on, earlier on, about the Dele Alli and Harry Kane situation, said apparently they are now on Real Madrid's radar. And as I said, Dele Alli, very good player. He's won PFA quite a few times. he's a good young age prospect, one of the best young midfielders out there. Is Dele Alli now, especially risen up the ranks very, very well with MK Dons. Tottenham had purchased him for £5 million. I think it was back in 2015, so I think this is his third season of process. But Raiola, the agent, and George Mendes, and Raiola that represents, and George Mendes has good connections with Man United as well and stuff. Raiola, who represents Zlatan Pogba, Mkhitaryan, Romelu Lukaku and all that, actually suggested out that he could secure Dele Alli a deal to either Man United or Real Madrid. He's currently receiving £80,000 a week at Tottenham Hotspur Football Club. At the moment, he's Dele Alli, but they could bolster it to £100,000 if they had to secure him a new deal with Tottenham Hotspur Football Club, Dele Alli. And all in all, in the Premier League, he's made 77 appearances and scored 30 goals in the process. But is Dele Alli got, I think he'd be fantastic if he wants to come to United, he'd complement our midfield fantastically well. Very, very good young age prospect, as I said. But as I said, we like to Dele Alli and Kane, that if they don't win any silverware during the time with Tottenham, if they're not challenging, and this is what players like Kane and Dele Alli want, players of their calibre, and they'll maybe want to go to another team to elevate to a higher level. But for me, I don't think they've any intentions of leaving Tottenham at this moment in time. But we know Real Madrid have done business with Spurs in the past. We all know that Real Madrid have done business with Tottenham Hotspur in the past. They have done quite a bit of business with Tottenham in the past, so you never know, because obviously Real Madrid got the pursuit of Bale, Real Madrid got the pursuit of Luka Modric as well from Tottenham Hotspur, so Real Madrid have done business with them in the past, but with the Harry Kane situation, I do keep saying, best striker for me in the world. I think he's elevated to that level now, of Messi and Ronaldo. He's What?
Yeah,
What are you doing?
bring your tea in.
I'll have my tea later.
Alright. No problem.
What are you doing?
No, I'm going to put a tea downstairs. Just washed up and cleaned up. Oh yeah, I've got to bank tomorrow, Joe.
Alright,
Push right down.
alright.
I've got to work Tuesday, hopefully.
Yeah.
Right, you got 5 from Broadline, there's another 10.
Alright, cheers. Alright. Alright. Alright.
Your tea's there.
Shut my door. Let's get my drink. Sorry about that. As I was saying about Harry Kane, best striker for me, won the Golden Boot in the last couple of years. As I said, and it's saying Real Madrid have interesting, but I said he won't come cheap. As I said, Harry Kane is not going to come cheap, for Tottenham, now the way he's progressed, he's risen up the ranks fantastically well. And he's going to cost Real Madrid, if they are to make a move for him, at least 196, maybe at least £200 million as well as Harry Kane. 6 goals this season in the league, about 14 in all competitions for Harry Kane. And he's over 3 years, he's been very, very good for Tottenham. Tottenham have been very consistent the last 3 years. Pochettino, very, very good manager. The football's very, very good to play in, as I said. Dele Alli, good young age prospect. Harry Kane, very, very good. As I said, but he will not come cheap. But he has not clearly ruled a move out from Tottenham Hotspur as Harry Kane. He's not basically ruled a move out. So he hasn't really said much regarding his future. I think he's happy at Tottenham Hotspur. They're still waiting for the new stadium. Obviously, they haven't won at Wembley yet in the Premier League this season, but their away form is absolutely fantastic so far this season. Is Tottenham Hotspur. As I said, Kane's won the Golden Boot the last couple of years. Hit over a century of goals now for Tottenham Hotspur Football Club. It's saying Real Madrid are apparently monitoring Kane and Dele Alli at the moment, but very, very good player, Kane. I think Kane, Lukaku in the Premier League, Aguero, Lacazette, Morata, they're the best strikers in the Premier League. You could say Sanchez is in there as well, but very, very good players, as I said, but they're not in the same calibre as Harry Kane. Harry Kane's progression has just been absolutely fantastic. As I said, also good for England as well is Harry Kane in the process, so apparently Real Madrid are monitoring her for him as well. But as we're going back to David De Gea's situation, Man United will not want to sanction him off because he's the best goalkeeper in the world, as I said. It says PSG are willing to make a move, but I feel Mourinho said he's happy at Old Trafford. He's got all the crowd behind him, and he's at one of the biggest clubs in the world and the biggest club in England, so I'm not saying PSG are a big club, Real Madrid are a massive club as well, but he's been here since 2011. He's won Premier Leagues with us. He's won Champions League, not Champions League, Premier League with us, FA Cup with us, League Cup with us, Europa League with us. So there's no reason why David De Gea would want to leave Old Trafford. And I think Mourinho is convinced he will stay, and hopefully he will sign a new deal. But French press are reporting that actually Paris Saint-Germain are interested. Paris Saint-Germain have been interested in Joe Blanc as well from Atletico Madrid as well, who has a 100 million release clause in his current deal as well. But as I was saying, for Manchester United's perspective, we've got Fellaini and Lukaku that are going to be in doubt, for the Liverpool game, which is a disappointment. As I said, Liverpool have a pretty bad defence, to be quite fair. So I think the pace of Rashford, the pace of Antonio Martial can cause Liverpool's defence all sorts of problems. Liverpool have got a pretty bad defence, to be quite honest. They're very, very good in attack, but they need to reinvest in the back line to Liverpool, and I think they're not good enough. They're not converting enough chances, as I said. So that's just my personal opinion on the situation as well. But with Fellaini, as I said, Jose Mourinho is a big admirer of the player. He said he's a key member of the squad. He blocked his move to Galatasaray during the window. We have a transfer policy of not signing players aged 30 or over long-term deals. The club are keen on just signing Fellaini 1-year extension, but I think Fellaini wants a long-term deal. Mourinho's desperate that he does sign this new deal, marrying Fellaini, and I think he's made a big impact since last season as marrying Fellaini. He scored 4 or 5 goals this season, and he's link-up play's been good, he's been creative, he's been scoring quite a few goals as well, as Fellaini scoring 2 against Crystal Palace as well. So, and I think Fellaini, full Paul Pogba spot, fantastically well, but obviously the news we heard yesterday, Fellaini and Lukaku could be now with Fellaini. He'd been in the game against Bosnia. He'd come off, he played half an hour of the game. He'd come off actually just after the 30-minute mark due to that he suffered a knee injury. And now it's saying in the press he could be out for several months due to his knee injury. And they found in his knee ligament damage. So this could be pretty bad news. Obviously, we've got Paul Pogba, our most essential creative midfielder, who we got for 89 million from Juventus. He said Mourinho's classified it as a long-term injury like Rojo and Zlatan Ibrahimovic as well. But Fellaini's full Paul Pogba spot fantastically well, but now he's currently injured as well, so that is a disappointment as well. And Romelu Lukaku apparently said he had an ankle injury, something like that. He didn't participate in Belgium's game yesterday. He scored 11 goals now in all competitions for Manchester United. Nearly all in all hit a century of goals in the Premier League. Our most clinical striker that we've currently got. And that is a disappointment. And he had an MRI scan. It suggested out they didn't detect out, they didn't find any damage whatsoever. But I think Lukaku has got like a slight, is it an ankle injury or something like that? I don't know how severe it is. I'm not quite sure. But he's going to be in doubt for the Liverpool game, and Fellaini's going to be in doubt for the Liverpool game as well. So 2 key players, especially as well. But I still, we still got the likes of Marcus Rashford. We still got the likes of Antonio Martial. As I said, we still got the likes of Juan Mata that's been playing well this season, who can operate in the number 10, he can play on the right. Scoring his first goal this season, made 2 century appearances now, all in all in the Premier League. Juan Mata still a very, very good player. Mkhitaryan's doing very well, who's been operating in that middle, also can play on the right. He's providing quite a few assists, got a goal or 2 this season as well. We've still got a very, very good team, but obviously we know where the problems lie. I think Man United still need a winger. We still need someone at left back. But, we're scoring goals this season. We've only conceded 4 goals this season in the current process. And, if we do get offered a lot of money for David De Gea, it is tempting. But as I said, even when you get that much money offered, it's always hard to find that replacement. And it's hard to find a keeper in David De Gea's calibre, especially in the process. So we will see what happens about that. But as I was saying, Mourinho's obviously looking at quite a few midfielders, as I've updated you on quite a few times. Ozil's been linked to Man United last few days. Emre Can, apparently Man United are interested in Emre Can as well from Liverpool Football Club, and it suggests out that Man United are actually interested in Emre Can. It says Man United are in the race to try and sign Emre Can. Juventus have actually been heavily linked with Emre Can as well. Emre Can is a player, as I said, versatility, very, very good. He can play as a defensive mid, he can play as a centre-back, he can play as a full-back. Very, very good in the Confederations Cup as well. I think this is his 4th season now in the process with Liverpool. He's made over a century appearances in all competitions with Liverpool Football Club, 93 in the Premier League and 7 goals, as well as Emre Can, but very, very good player, as I said. And I think Liverpool are trying to secure him a new deal. He's free. He's a free transfer next summer if he doesn't sign a new deal. Maybe teams could go for him in January, but I think he's been demanding a release clause as part of his deal. Liverpool are not willing to meet this, and I think he's been demanding a higher wage as well as Emre Can. But very, very good, as I said. Was with Bayer Leverkusen, I think, just a season, but he made a big impact. He's made a big impact since he's been at Liverpool Football Club, and especially with Naby Keita, if he arrives in January. Well, Liverpool have already confirmed it, and as I said, he's a very, very good player, Naby Keita. He's good at breaking up the play. He's going to be a good midfielder for Liverpool. I said, very, very good dynamic box-to-box player. But either way, there's add-ons included in the deal, whether RP Leipzig progress to the Champions League or not. I think it's between 10 and 20 million pounds add-ons, and he's got a 48 million release clause as Naby Keita. I think he's going to be signing a 5-year deal with Liverpool. Whether it's going to be January he goes, whether it's going to be next summer, I do not know. But that if he does arrive, Naby Keita in January to Liverpool, that could see Emre Can then leave Liverpool Football Club, and also to Philippe Coutinho. But Emre Can, he's very, very good at Bayern Munich as well. He was good in the reserve team, where he featured mostly in the reserve team, risen up the ranks fantastically well with Bayern Munich as well. Won quite a few honours, so he'd be a good midfielder for me for Manchester United. Still young as well. But I can't see Liverpool willing to offload him in January, and I don't think they're willing to offload him to us, especially in the process. But these Liverpool players want to be challenging for choice. They want to be elevated at a high level. They want to be playing amongst better players. They want to be winning trophies. And Emre Can are not doing this with Liverpool Football Club. This is why they basically want to make the move. Same with Arsenal with Ozil. Same with Arsenal with Alexis Sanchez. So this is why these players do want to make the current move, guys. And that's just my perspective on the situation. So, but as I was saying, updating you earlier on, about the Alexis Sanchez situation, about the Sergio Aguero situation as well. We know teams are heavily into Sanchez, and we know Sanchez is going to go in January. He's going to become a free transfer next summer, but I said Arsenal would rather cash in on Sanchez and Ozil rather than let them go free next summer. Teams have been heavily into him. Man United have still got an interest. AC Milan were willing to plot £75 million bidding, 70 million, and Arsenal would have profited from it. And now apparently AC Milan are interested in Sergio Aguero. I think they're planning to put an £80 million bidding for Sergio Aguero. We know City is still emerged as the front runners to go and get Sanchez in January for the cheap price. But Arsenal could have got £50-60 million in the end of the window. Arsenal couldn't find a replacement though, so they didn't let Sanchez go. Sanchez quoted that he wanted Champions League football. As I said, there's been Real Madrid that have been interested in him. Man United, Paris Saint-Germain are still monitoring the player as well. Paris Saint-Germain, Bayern Munich were interested during the window. Says Chelsea have had an interest. Numerous teams have been interested in getting Alexis Sanchez's signature, but I think it's still keen on reuniting with Pep Guardiola. I think City are going to put a £20 million bidding for him in January as well. Raised up the ranks of underneath. He's now made over a century appearances for Arsenal, scored 53 goals in the process, scored 24 goals last season, did Alexis Sanchez. He's won 3 FA Cups in 4 seasons with Arsenal. For him, that's not enough, and I think he's just keen on reuniting with Pep Guardiola after they were fantastic together at Barcelona. And this is why I just think he's going to make the move to Manchester City. But if Sanchez arrives at City, obviously then maybe Aguero will fall down the pecking order as well, because City did spend a lot of money in the August window, as I said. But Sanchez was demanding a higher wage. Sanchez was demanding £400,000 a week. Arsenal offered him £300,000 a week. Sanchez had turned this down because basically he did want to make the moves. He was disappointed that he didn't make the move towards the end of the January window. Arsenal would have let Sanchez go if City were willing to offer one of their players, such as Raheem Sterling, that's it in form for them this season, who's made over century appearances now for City, and also if they were willing to offer Aguero, but obviously City were reluctant and were resisted to offload either Aguero or Sterling as part of the deal for Sanchez, because City were just key on a cash only deal for Sanchez. as well, but he is going to go. He's not signing a new deal. He's coming to a conclusion of his deal, and he's not going to be signing a new one. But obviously, Arsenal are eyeing out replacements. Apparently, they've got a few. Antonio Martial now has been mentioned from us as well, but I said, he's not going to come cheap if Mourinho does decide to put him for sale, but I just can't see Mourinho sanctioning, Martial off. Under Van Gaal did very, very well. Last season wasn't so good. This is his third season at Old Trafford. In the process is Antonio Martial's. Very, very good player. I do really, really like him. As I said, he scored 5 goals this season, I think, and 6 assists or 7 assists or whatever. He's only started 1 Premier League game this season, though, as Antonio Martial. And all in all, he's nearly made a century appearances in all competitions and scored 30 goals in the process. In the Premier League, he's made 62 appearances and scored 18 goals as Antonio Martial as well. But apparently Arsenal are monitoring an interest in Antonio Martial as well. But very, very good player. He's still a young age prospect, and when he's at his best, he's one of the best young age prospects out there, just like Marcus Rashford. I think him and Rashford and Martial have been trending fantastic well together this season. And we know with Antonio Martial, as I do keep saying, Man United are not going to offload a player that's young. He still needs to improve, don't get me wrong, but his progression this season's been fantastic, just like Marcus Rashford's has been fantastic as well. Martial scoring, he's creating, his link-up players looking very, very good. His genuine pace looks very, very good. He's also providing assists as well. And it says Arsenal, are interested in Antonio Martial, the player that we paid £57 million for from Monaco back in 2015. This is his initially was £36 million, but there was add-ons included in this as well to make him the highest. Add-ons included in this as well. But apparently, Arsenal are actually showing an interest in the current Frenchman as well. But I just don't see Mourinho willing to sanction him off. And he can play. He can play anywhere in the middle. He can play anywhere on the left. But apparently, Arsenal have said Arsenal have suggested out that he'll be a good ideal replacement for when Alexis Sanchez departs Arsenal Football Club. And with the Sergio Aguero situation, as I do keep suggesting out, apparently AC Milan are willing to plot a staggering £80 million bidding for him in January as well. Apparently Sergio Aguero, the player that's currently had the car accident, broke both of his ribs, so he's currently not featuring. Scored 30 goals for Manchester City last season. He's been at Manchester City since 2011. Won Premier Leagues, won FA Cup, won League Cup with Manchester City, and he's done very, very well. And I think all in all for City, he has made nearly 2 century appearances in the Premier League, scored about 128 goals in the Premier League. His ratios are very, very good. He's a good, fantastic, prolific goal scorer. Sergio Aguero is definitely in the list as one of the best strikers. Is Sergio Aguero. In the process, as I said, scored 30 goals last season. I think that was in all competitions for Manchester City. And him and Gabriel Jesus are just a flourish in Manchester City. But, he proved it, He proved at Atletico Madrid. Sergio Aguero was absolutely fantastic at Atletico Madrid. As I said, Atletico Madrid, in all competitions, he made over 2 century appearances for Atletico Madrid during his 5 years there, I think it was. He scored 101 goals in 239 appearances for them. And in La Liga, he made 174 appearances and scored 74 goals. Did Sergio Aguero won the Europa League there, won the Super Cup with Atletico Madrid as well. Did Sergio Aguero as well in the process, but a very, very good player. As I said, so apparently AC Milan are willing to put £80 million in, and that will definitely test City's stance regarding the player as well. But we'll see what happens about that. And as I did say, Mourinho's targeting a few midfielders, and I also did say I still think, we've still got number 7 vacant. I still think Mourinho, wants to get a number 7 in. We haven't had a proper number 7, since we had basically Cristiano Ronaldo in the team. We've had quite a few number 7s, but I still think our favourite one, as I said, is going to be Griezmann. That was Jose Mourinho's main priority target during the August window, as I said, in the process, but never materialised due to the transfer ban. And plus now Diego Costa's back to Atletico Madrid, I think we can actually get Antoine Griezmann next summer or whatever, but we will see what happens in the process. And as I said, also, Dries Mertens has been mentioned Dry Mertens has been mentioned quite a few times. I said, won Belgian Football of the Year, made over 50 appearances for Belgium since 2011. He has got a release clause of £28 million as this player, but the current Serie A director had actually confirmed that Man United are interested in Dries Mertens. He signed a new deal back in May until 2020, did the player as well. He's an ex-PSV player, and I think this is his 5th season now in the process with Napoli. Is the player, and he's made over a century appearances now as a Dries Mertens for Napoli Football Club, and last season 35 appearances, 28 goals and 9 assists, very very impressive, and he scored 7 goals in 7 starts in the Serie A so far this season, so he looks a very very good forward, and apparently Man United are keeping a close eye out on him as well. But for me, as I said, what did I say about Romelu Lukaku? Can he beat Ronaldo's 42 goals a season? The way that he's been, this season, I said there was always a chance. I wasn't certain, but now, especially that he is currently injured, and I don't think it's going to happen. I said basically we have to avoid Lukaku. We have to avoid Lukaku getting injured, for us to keep our form up. But now, obviously, Romelu Lukaku is currently injured. I don't know how long that's going to be for. I'll have to look into it a bit more. But Fellaini, he said it could be for months and months and months apparently. We've got Luke Shaw there. We had these injury problems last season because we had Luke Shaw injured. Still got Rojo injured. We had Ashley Young as well injured. They've now come back. Luke Shaw hasn't had much of a chance because Mourinho gave him criticism last season. But since Ashley Young's come back into the team at that left back, Ashley Young's performed fantastically well at that left back position. He's been creating, he's been providing a couple of assists. Ashley Young has done very, very well. His crossing's been very, very good since he's come back into the team. So I am very, very impressed with Ashley Young in the process, guys. Got to be honest, I am very, very impressed with Ashley Young. So yeah, I'm impressed with him. I really, really am impressed with him. And you've also, who do you think Man United's next signing is going to be? You got Mesut Ozil, like I said in the press last couple of days. He's another one that's coming to an end of his deal. Arsenal generated a lot of money in the August window. They're going to generate more money if they're cashing in January for Ozil and Sanchez. They might cash in on one, let one go free next summer. But they'll at least cash in on one, because they'll want to at least cash in on one rather than let both go for free next summer. I think they will cash in on Sanchez in January, will Arsenal, to be quite honest with you. But with the Ozil, he could see out his deal and go on a free transfer next summer. He's actually heavily linked with a move to Old Trafford in the last couple of days. Reportedly said Inter Milan had been interested, but what it explained is, because Mourinho and Ozil were fantastic together at Real Madrid. He'd won quite a few honours with Real Madrid, he made over a century appearances. Real Madrid scored quite a few goals, provided a lot of assists. I think this is now his 5th season in the process with Arsenal. He's made actually over a century appearances for Arsenal, scored quite a few goals, provided a lot of assists as well as Mesut Ozil. And Arsenal have paid a £42.5 million for him back in 2013, which was the highest paid fee for the German player. But it was fantastic Mourinho, during his 3-year period with Real Madrid. Mesut Ozil also was in the Bundesliga for 5 years as well. But he's coming to an end of his deal. He did confirm the contracts have stalled between Arsenal, the player, and his current representative as well. Initially, he turned down £275,000 a week from Arsenal. This was classified as false, but he was actually demanding a higher wage as well, was Mesut Ozil in the process, but it never materialised. He was demanding a higher wage. I think it was over 350,000. But he's a player that's good at creating chances. As I said, he's good at providing assists. He's a very, very good playmaker. He can play as a number 10. But I don't think in any way, shape, or form that he will end up coming to Old Trafford. To be quite honest with you guys, but I'm just reporting, what the press have reported on it. So I'm just giving you my feedback on that situation. So that's just my personal opinion on it. So, yeah, and there's quite a lot of transfer news, going on. I've updated you about Harry Kane and Dele Alli. Real Madrid, it's on Real Madrid's radar. I've updated you about Martial being linked. Apparently, Arsenal have showed an interest. If Sanchez goes, they may make a move for Martial. So I basically updated you on the majority of stuff now, guys. As I said in the process. So. Sorry guys, just got a bit of sore throat. So basically, yeah, anyway guys, that's basically it really. That's everything to update today. I said about David De Gea just then, apparently French press reporting that PSG may be waiting to move up for David De Gea. When he move up for him maybe next summer, David De Gea, PSG may when he move up. They've been interested in Joao Blanc, as I said, of PSG, and he's got a 100 million release clause, so they maybe cost a similar price if they were to go for De Gea or Joao Blanc. If David De Gea did become available, Mourinho's convinced he's going to stay with Manchester United. He's made over 2 century appearances now in the league, kept 81 clean sheets, won honours with Atletico Madrid when he was there. He's up the ranks very, very well. 7 seasons in the process at Old Trafford, won Premier League, won the FA Cup. No, you won Premier League, FA Cup, League Cup, Europa League with us, as I said, David De Gea. And he's potentially the best goalkeeper in the world. And, Real Madrid, I've had that interest in him as well since 2015 as well. But obviously, due to a fax machine, a deal had never taken place, and we know David De Gea is coming to an end of his deal with Manchester United, but I think Man United do want to sign him a new deal. David De Gea and his performances this season as well have been absolutely fantastic, because we've only conceded 4 goals in all competitions, or 5 I think it is. It's 4 or 5 this season in all competitions as well, so it's part of the saying Paris Saint-Germain are interested in the keeper, and this is my main headline of this current video as well. And am I going to go now? Of what else to update you? I've already updated you about the Ivan Perisic case as well. It's saying Man United could maybe go for him next summer, but obviously now it's going to be harder for teams to go for Ivan Perisic. Obviously he's highly experienced, he's about 28, 29, but obviously now he's signed a new deal, to fend interest from other teams, because obviously we were heavily linked with him during the August window, but now I think he's got a new deal until 2022, but I think he's got a 54 million release clause in his new deal as even Perisic, so it's going to be harder for teams to get. Obviously, we were heavily linked with him during the window, wasn't we? But Inter Milan wanted that £48 million. We were not willing to pay that £48 million. I think we had 2 or 3 bids rejected in the process. And we know also, you could tell Mourinho doesn't want to sanction Martial off, because obviously we know Inter Milan were demanding Martial as a part of the deal, but Mourinho wasn't going along with this. He wasn't going along with this in the process, so it never ever materialised. Even Perisic had a fine start to the season this season with Inter Milan. He scored 11 goals and 12 assists last season as well. They had been the agent tried to get a deal finalised with him to make a move to Manchester United, because we know at one point he wanted to make the move. He was trying to force the move. Ed Woodward had discussions with the player's agent to try and get a deal over the line as well. The ex-Borussia Dortmund, Wolfsburg player, where he's won quite a few honours, but we never got a deal over the line for Perisic in the end. But in the window, Mourinho's done good business since he's come to Old Trafford. In 2 transfer windows, he spent over £300 million. But I think, he's got the team working hard. He's got the team playing now, and we're getting a glimpse of the Fergie days, because we haven't seen it for the last 3 or 4 years, especially in the process of that. I've already updated you basically on the Philippe Coutinho situation. That I think, Barcelona, who are going to re-go for him in January as well. So Liverpool Football Club could go for Philippe Coutinho. Barcelona could go for Philippe Coutinho in January. Said there were rumours that Barca were going to be willing to put £97 million bidding plus add-ons in part of the deal as well. So Coutinho may make the move to Liverpool Football Club to Barcelona in January. But obviously Barcelona didn't get him due to that Liverpool were resisted and were reluctant to offload Philippe Coutinho. He's another very, very good midfielder, very, very like. Since he's been at Liverpool, he's become one of the most creative, agile, midfielders. As Philippe Coutinho, as I said, made over a century appearances now for Liverpool Football Club. As I said, in the process, he's hit over a century of appearances, scored quite a lot of goals for Liverpool Football Club, so he's doing very, very well. He's Philippe Coutinho, as I said, he scored 14 goals, 7 assists last season. he has got a 4 or 5 year deal left with Liverpool, so Liverpool are still going to have to eye out replacements because Emre Can is going to go, Coutinho may still go as well. So yeah, and a very, very good player is Philip Coutinho. Does operate well in that number 10 role for Liverpool, but Barcelona saw three bids turned down. Barcelona saw three bids turned down a 72, 89 and £114 million in the current process. So Barcelona didn't get a deal over the line. It was their main priority target. Barcelona had quite a few targets on the radar in the August window. Obviously, they got them one of the main targets, Ousmane Dembele, as well. They've just got Iniesta that's just signed an extension as for them as well. But obviously, they were looking for a long-term replacement for Iniesta with Barcelona as well. But it never ever materialised. And yes, guys, that's really about it. So thanks for your time and company today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. What do you think to this David De Gea rumour about Paris Saint-Germain apparently showing an interest in David De Gea? So drop your comments, likes below on the channel. As I said, subscribe to the channel as always, and take it easy, guys. And I'll see you all on my next video. Bye.